Niggas, they can get so bitter. Sure you want to until you can turn back. You don't know where
We're kind of back. The NBA is not back, but we're here. We're going to take some questions. Hopefully, if we get some. Well, we already have some questions, so we'll take some questions. We're going to talk about fantasy basketball. We're heading into the home stretch of the season. For most people, the fantasy playoffs are probably only a few weeks away. So bring your questions. We'll answer them. No Noah today. Thunder Dan, a better looking guy than Noah, I think. So
thank you. I don't know if Noah would agree, but I'm glad to be here. And man, it's been rough without basketball for a while. I'll be honest. I'm jonesing for it. A couple more days here. We got it last.
Yeah, it's always it's a nice week in terms of not having to blurb and not having to do as much work. But
sure,
yeah, it's for us here. The NBA is on during the day, so it means we have nothing on during the day for a week.
Right. I mean, and I don't know. I don't want to jump in too far, but like the All-Star stuff has just lost it's lost all of its excitement for me. I was not excited at all about any of the All-Star weekend stuff. It was all pretty crappy, I thought.
Yeah, I don't mind watching the rising stars. I think they're sort of some young kids that want to get on the national global stage who aren't always, I guess, playing sort of those heavy minutes. So I don't mind watching some of those guys run around. The 3-point comp is what it is. Which is not always a bad thing. Dunk comp was terrible, as we sort of projected. I don't think that was a surprise that no one really enjoyed the dunk comp. And the All-Star, the new format for the All-Star game, what did you actually catch any of it? The general kind of feedback was very positive, which I guess is a good thing.
Yeah, it's a tough exhibition for me to watch. And in the old days, the glory days, the Jordan and Burden days and stuff, I think it was a little. I watched a little more of it. I don't know. I also just kind of tuned out entirely for a little bit, just to kind of make some space in my own head for some other sports and stuff coming up here too. Baseball here in the States, but in general, I don't know. I used to get really excited about All-Star Weekend. Definitely dunk contest, definitely 3-point contest, but it just seems to lost its star appeal. We don't have stars doing it anymore, but it just kind of lost its overall appeal to me.
Yeah. And look, I think that's fair. I caught some of it. It was because it is on a Monday here, so I was at work. But I caught some of the highlights, and as I said, the general reception I think was pretty good. The shorter format, the world versus US. So I think there were some positives at least, which is a good thing because they're not going to remove the All-Star weekend. Make it work. And I don't know. I do think the one-on-one concept where they have a little tournament is gaining some traction, which I think could be interesting if that's ever implemented. But of course, players talk the talk. Would they actually then walk the walk? And when it comes down to it, would they nominate and play? A lot of them. I was actually talking to my friend about this, and sort of which players would want to play in a one-on-one tournament, and I think you'd have to target those with big egos. Anthony Edwards, Jaylen Brown, Jokic. No chance Jokic would play in it. Absolutely no way. LeBron, no, he's obviously got an ego, and rightfully so, but he's not at a point in his career where he has to prove anything to anyone. So,
you're right. It would be those guys. It would be that kind of crew, the younger kind of next tier stars. And that is compelling. I'll give you if those guys are out there playing, I would be watching. If they can score something like that, it'd be great. But I don't know, man. We can't get them to play back-to-backs in the regular season. They're going to come out there and do that.
Yeah, I know, and that's the concern, isn't it? Get Isaiah Stewart out there. I think there'd be a lot of players that would like to play one-on-one against Isaiah Stewart. Maybe not legally, but it'd be fun to watch. All right, we do have some questions, so let's get into those. First question, dropped Kyle Filipowski, regret, obviously. Held him all year. New owner said he'd trade for Jalen Smith. Thoughts?
Ooh.
So who would you rather, Filipowski or Jalen Smith? I think both of them are kind of the title of the show I've put silly season winners or something like that. They're definitely both in that category.
Certainly.
And
I think, no, sorry, I don't want to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say we're starting to get more of Filipowski. I do like Jalen Smith. The fact that the Bulls now have Nick Richards and Yabusele worries me a little bit, although I will say that Yabusele hasn't been very impressive.
No.
In a couple of games. I think Nick Richards has been fine, but I still think Jalen Smith is probably going to start in one way or another. I mean, do you have a clear preference in this?
I was just going to say that, everything really hinges on what Utah does. Are they going to stop doing their BS after they were fined with the Laurie stuff? And now, of course, Jaren Jackson is shut down for the year now, but they still have Laurie and Nurkic there blocking Filipowski. You really need one of those guys out or to rest for Filipowski to really pop like we want him to. And if they play Laurie now because they're worried about being fined, then that kind of sucks for Filipowski. I was going to say Jalen Smith probably has the clearer path to minutes, but right now he's also hurt. He missed the last 3 games before the break, so it's a really tough call. I guess I would lean Jalen Smith just because of the blocks too. Like he does offer some blocks where, as Filipowski's a little more just offensive stats, maybe more boards. But they're both guys that are going to be probably valuable down the stretch. It's just going to be with Filipowski. Is it going to be every night or is it going to be every other night? And I think Jalen Smith has the potential to be, even if he's only playing 26 or 28 minutes or something, pretty good every night he steps out there because they don't have a lot of other options.
Yeah, I think I would lean Smith. As you said, with Filipowski, it seems to be he alternates. And yeah, we have to see what the Jazz are going to do here. How are they going to take? I mean, is this going to impact them at all, or are they just going to keep doing what they've been doing?
Right.
So yeah, I think I would just stick with Jalen Smith here. But as you said, both of them are sort of top of the list when it comes to these late season targets. All right, next question. I've been hot on waivers, stashes, and safely in the playoffs. As such, if and when Giannis and Hero return, I have to find 2 to drop. Gafford, Filipowski, Sharp, Mathurin. So who would we drop out of those 4? That now I'll assume that's Dayron Sharp, not Shaden Sharp.
Okay, I was going to say, I think the easy one for me is Gafford. I'm not a Gafford guy.
Yeah,
our buddy Vespers is, but that's the easy one, especially now that Bagley's there. It's like Bagley's been out playing him half the time. So Gafford's the easiest drop, I think. And then, what's Mathurin? They definitely need Mathurin on the Clippers, but like, it's hard to get behind Mathurin without like full starters minutes because he's just so scoring dependent. Really, he's just scoring, rebounding threes. If Mathurin's playing like 25 minutes off the bench, is he giving us like 12 and 4 or 12 and 5 or something? They were on Sharp. Like, this is a tough one because he goes nuts, and we saw when they rested Claxton right before the break, he went totally nuts for a huge game. Even if that's only every 3rd or 4th game, if they rest Claxton, there's some real value there. Even if you spread that out. So maybe Gafford is the first drop. After that, maybe Mathurin. I mean, I don't know. What do you have a good read on the Clippers? Because I guess if Kawhi does sit or rest, or if they start to tank, then Mathurin does have some appeal to me with on nights that Kawhi's out.
Yeah, I'm with you on Gafford. I think he is probably the one that I would be comfortable dropping. I mean, he's at least been moderately healthy, but he hasn't been blowing the roof off. He's not doing anything spectacular here. And as you said, they do have Bagley now. So I think he's okay. In terms of Mathurin and the Clippers, it's really hard to know what the Clippers, because they don't have their pick. So
right.
There's no incentive for them to lose, but they're not. they're good enough to make any real noise. But I mean, common sense and logic would tell us they're just going to keep trying to win here because losing, there's no benefit to losing.
Right.
Let's try and build up some of these pieces for next season.
It does feel like they're playing for next year, yeah, because the Harden trade was a punt because they had to have known. I mean, Garland's still got issues with his toe. They had to have known that Garland. There's a chance Garland might not play again, or maybe not play much. So I think they definitely punted the season. But they, like you said, there's no reason to full tank because they don't have their picks. So what does that mean for Kawhi? Like, does he just rest more down the stretch? Does he, instead of being totally shut down, like? He also they don't have an incentive to play him a ton or get him hurt, a guy that's injury risk, so they're a really weird team, man. I don't know what to think.
Yeah, it's strange. And I think the fact they moved Zubac tells us that this season is not a priority because that basically left them without a center. I know they've got Brook Lopez there, but he's not a starting caliber NBA center. He's not a future piece for them at all. He doesn't really have a lot of trade value. So yeah, I do think that, as you said, they're looking to next season. But, what does that mean for Kawhi? I mean, it means if he gets any little injury, he's done. Probably. And where does Garland fit? Does he come back? If he does come back, is he limited? Does he not play back-to-backs? And how does that impact someone like Mathurin, who needs the ball in his hands to have value? He needs to be scoring.
Right.
So I'm sort of with you. I think Gafford and Mathurin is potentially the next one, but it would also come down to what stats you need because Mathurin, obviously, out of the remaining three or even all four there, is the guy that will give you points fairly consistently, but doesn't do anything else. I'd hold Filipowski and Sharp, as you said. Yeah. It's very hit or miss. It really comes down to what Claxton is doing. So I think he has a lot of upside. Arguably the most upside of anyone here, but we just don't know if the Nets are going to completely go into the let's rest Nick Claxton mode. They didn't last year. We were hoping they would, and they didn't. But we have seen him rest. He rested as you said, that last game before the break, and Claxton was really good. He had 19 and 12 with 5 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. And
nuts.
That's top 40 value there. So if you don't need points, I think Mathurin is the guy I'd be moving on from. And then it's would you drop or try to make room for 2-for-1 trades? Yeah, I mean, if you can make room if you can do a consolidation kind of trade, then sure. But yeah, they're the players that I would look to drop.
That particular question came too with if and when Giannis comes back. I mean, are we under the impression that Giannis is going to play another game in a Bucks uniform?
I think he will. I didn't think so probably a month ago, but I actually think he's going to come back and play here. For how long, I don't know. That may be determined by how successful they are, whether they're winning, if Kevin Porter's healthy, if Ryan Rollins is healthy. He's dealing with plantar fasciitis, which is it's not a severe injury, but it's certainly a debilitating one.
Nagging.
Okay, should I take this trade? I get Guy Santos and Jaden McDaniels and give Justin Champagnie and Dylan Cardwell. We play offensive rebounds for rest of season value.
That offensive rebounds is an interesting twist there.
Yeah. So Guy Santos, Jaden McDaniels, Justin Champagnie, and Dylan Cardwell.
Normally, I would say take McDaniels, the best player in the deal, and run, but that offensive rebound category kind of makes the Cardwell side appealing because he is a hustler rebounder type. 14 team head to head. I don't know, man. McDaniels is still really good as far as block, steals, threes. I might just take the best player in the deal and take on Guy. And who knows? Santos could still be really good. Yeah, I think everyone's counting on him falling off here eventually, but maybe not. We don't know if the Warriors are going to even contend or not down the stretch. They look like they could be on the
Yeah.
outs, you know?
Yeah, I think Guy's been really interesting. I'm a bit worried about Champagny, just in terms of, I think we've seen the Wizards have they've shown their hand a little bit in terms of how they're going to run this rotation. And I think Champagny, I was sort of hoping a 30-minute role would come his way as we move towards the end of the season. I'm actually not sure it's going to now. I think he could be limited to minutes in the low 20s. Even if he starts, they're not afraid. And this isn't as obvious a situation as Utah, where they were resting Jaren Jackson. Jaren Jackson had an injury, as we found out after the fact. But if they don't play Champagny down the stretch of a close game, no one's going to say anything other than fantasy managers. The NBA is not going to come out and say, you need to play Justin Champagny in these close games. So I'm not as high on him as I was. So I'm with you. I think I might just take McDaniels here because he's pretty clearly the best overall player.
I know you and I last time we talked about Champagny, I mentioned that I don't know that he's in the Wizards' future plans either. He might just be more of a placeholder guy. Well, guys like Will Riley and Bob Carrington and Trey Johnson, those guys are all more of their foundational pieces.
Yep. Who's the Kings add? Nate Clifford or Devin Carter? Do you have a preference there? I think they're both probably adds, given the Zach LaVine injury, the fact that DeMar DeRozan doesn't care. I don't think DeMar's going to miss games. I just don't think that's in him. He seems like a guy who would just want to be out there playing, although he certainly looks pretty frustrated with the whole situation. So I think both of these guys are adds. Is there a preference for you, or does it come down to what categories you need?
Yeah, I would say categories. I mean, it looks like Carter is really going to be more of your assist guy. But not quite the defensive stats guy. I love the steals upside with Clifford. I think he's at 1.4, 1.5 over the last 2 weeks, 0.6 blocks. His offensive game surely isn't polished. I saw him shoot 2 for 12 the other night or something, but so he could hurt your field goal percentage. But I think Clifford has a little more upside just in terms of like rebounds, steals, blocks, while Carter's really going to be more points, assists. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, as I said, both of them, I'd probably lean Clifford slightly, much like you. I think Carter, he's a little more limited in terms of what he brings to the table, but I do like both of them. Is Vukcevic going to get run, or will they keep him at Turney? Well, he's going to get run this week because Sarr is out for at least this week. And I think just what we know about fantasy basketball and teams that don't want to win, I think Sarr is going to be pretty limited down the stretch here. I think Vukcevic is going to get run for the next week and potentially beyond that. I think there's, I reckon, a 70% chance he plays starter level minutes for maybe 3 weeks here.
And here's the thing, let's not lose this, the bury the lead here. He doesn't need 30 minutes. He needs like 24 or 25 because he's that effective. I mean, if you look at his last 2 games he actually played, he played 20 minutes, 14 points, 5 rebounds, couple blocks, couple threes, he doesn't need heavy minutes to be viable because of how diverse his fantasy game is.
Yeah. So the answer is yes, he will get run, and will they keep him at 20?
And you should add him. Yes, please add him.
Oh, yes, definitely. He is one of our priority ads. Yeah. I've got Hero, Io, Kobe, AJ Mitchell with 1 IR spot. I'm suffocating. I want to drop one to stream, but I don't know who to drop. Thought about dropping both Io and Kobe. All right. So we got four players there. We want to look to drop one.
You gotta so let's Heroes should stay in the IR because there's chance he's coming back in the next couple of weeks, right?
Yeah.
And then the obvious drop I think is AJ Mitchell because he's still out, and I mean, I guess it's not super obvious, but they have McCain, they have Mitchell, or they have a bunch of guards in OKC. Like, I don't know that AJ Mitchell's going to come back to what he was doing earlier in the year. Kobe White is playing when he's finally healthy, going to play 25 minutes. You think off the bench?
Yeah, I think so.
Charlotte, and was not even playing that well in Chicago. I know you're a big Io fan. I mean, it's close there. I know can Io get 25 minutes in Minnesota and be viable there? That's my question for you.
Look, I think he can. I mean, it's not like DiVincenzo has been setting the world on fire, so he's not walking into a situation here where their starting point guard is locked into 34 minutes a night. Just pulling up what Dosunmu. So Dosunmu has played 3 games for the Wolves so far. 28 minutes, 30 minutes, and 26 minutes. So I guess, look, 25 plus, absolutely. I know Mike Conley, I'm pretty sure Mike Conley is back.
Yeah, he signed again with them. Although, I mean,
won't play much.
He's there to be a player, coach, mentor. He's not there to play.
No. So look, I do think Dosunmu can play 25 minutes plus, and he obviously we know sort of who he is. We've had a good look at him in Chicago. So yeah, for me, I think I'm holding Hero, as you said, because he could be back and he has the highest upside of these players, I think. Mitchell, I mean, he's coming into a situation where they certainly don't need to rush him back or anything. So he'll come back. He'll be managed a little bit. Wiggins is healthy now. They've got McCain, as you said.
Isaiah Joe,
who's playing really well. Yeah, Kenrich Williams. So they've got an abundance of options.
Right.
So it might be him, just because we don't really have a timeline. Although in saying that, the Thunder are notoriously not sketchy, but they don't provide a lot of information, and then someone's just back. So
true. Yeah, that's true.
They could just release when the injury report comes out later this week, and AJ Mitchell might just not be on the injury report. He's good to go. Yeah. That's certainly a possibility. So I would be waiting. People. I know we need to get ahead of the curve and add players before other managers do. But if you could wait until we get the injury report out, that will give us some indication as to the role for these guys and who's back and who's not. Kobe White, as you said, he wasn't playing great in Chicago anyway, and he's just going to play the Colin Sexton role. So
which is just like 14 and 2 or 3 assists tonight. It's just. I think people would think it's obviously Kobe White over Ayo, but I think Ayo just is such a better fantasy player for field goal percentage, steals, 3. I'd almost rather have Ayo than Kobe, even though that's probably not this question because you cut AJ Mitchell, but I really like Ayo too.
Yeah. Is Kuminga a stash? I'm not sure what his role is going to look like in Atlanta. I'm going to say no. I don't think he's going to play enough. I think they'll get a look at him, but as long as they're pushing to win and pushing to get into the playoffs, I don't think. No, I'm not prioritizing him.
And Ricochet's back. That hurts him too. That's another guy at the 3 of the 4 that is competition for minutes.
Jarris Walker or Nolan Traore? Both, I think, again, silly season winners. I'm going to go Jarris Walker.
Yeah, me too. Unless you need assists. I just caveat that. Yeah.
Traore for assists. Otherwise, I'd go Jarris. I just think the Nets, they're going to shuffle things around a bit. So Traore will have some good games, but then he'll have somewhere I think he plays 18 minutes, and they may even rest him here or there. I just think Jarris Walker is going to play 30 minutes a night, pretty much every night.
I just need him not to shoot 30% on 20 shot attempts. I mean, we just need like 45% from the field, and everything. Jarris Walker does everything else well. So just don't tank our field goal percentage.
All right, what's this one? Any update on Zach Edey? I haven't heard anything.
Nothing.
Is he coming back this season? I would say if I had to pick one, yes or no, I'd probably go no. that he isn't coming back this season. I do think there's a chance, but just with the fact that they got rid of Jaren Jackson, they're obviously in that bottom tier now. I just, given what this is, it's a stress-related injury for a massive guy. We've seen these injuries really linger and impact players long term. So I just think they're going to take every precaution here. And so I would, if I had to hazard a guess, I'd probably go no.
Me too. That's my guess. Yep.
Okay, so another sort of, a Timberwolves related question. With Conley returning and Io and Bones playing, do we think Dante is a drop in a 150 league? Debating whether to pick up Carter, Vukcevic, or open a stream spot.
That's a tough one. I mean, let's take Conley out of the equation. Conley is not really the issue. It's really Ao and the fact that Bones is, when Bones gets hot and makes shots off the bench, they like to let him run a little longer, you know. Let's see what Dante's done last.
I know he hasn't been great.
Yeah, the game log is rough for the last 4 games.
I do think he's probably in a bit of a slump. He's still getting steals. The assists are, I mean, he's not a high assist guy anyway.
Here's the thing, though. Like 3 shot attempts 2 games ago, 5 shot attempts last game. Like he's not even getting shots up.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I think he's probably someone that, like, if you drop him, he'll be picked up straight away. I'm fairly confident of that. Someone will see him on the waivers and add him. And yes, look, he'll have some games where he gets 4 steals and 5 threes, 20 points. But generally speaking, he's not a high volume player. He just sort of chips in across the board, doesn't really hurt you in any one category. So yes, I think he's a must roster player, but I don't mind opening up a streaming spot for guys like, we've talked about Devin Carter, we've talked about, Vukcevic as pickups. So I don't mind moving on from him. Again, I think he has to be rostered, but it doesn't necessarily have to be by your team.
Those steals are tough to. I mean, it's tough to give up those steals, but I agree that like tough decisions have to be made down the stretch. Like he's not a guy that you should bring your hands over too much. Like if you have to cut him, you have to cut him. But like you said, someone else will pick him up. He's not just going to be there for you when you want to get him back.
All right, here's a long one. Currently first place in my league with playoffs starting week 20. I have Vukcevic, Grayson Allen, and Jalen Smith on my IL with Justin Champagny, Nick Clifford, Kyle Filipowski, and Milton on my bubble. What is your advice?
Does a bubble mean that those are guys he wants to add?
Yeah, I'm not sure whether that means you've got them on your bubble as in you have them, but you might want to move on, drop them to activate these players, or are they on your waiver? I'm not sure.
Maybe they're at the end of his roster and he wants to maybe dump them or not.
Yeah, that's potentially.
I think that makes more sense.
Yeah. Maybe clear that one up for us, Troy. Just let us know if you have them on your roster. Is Jeng worth a pickup? I'm going to say no.
Usman. I mean, who knows what kind of minutes are going to be? But with minutes, it's be interesting. But I think you mentioned, Milwaukee's probably going to actually try to win some games here and keep playing. So,
yeah. And I think, as we talked about earlier, I think Giannis will come back. Ryan Rollins has been out. He will, I guess, come back as well. So I know Deng's been good, but we could reach a point where the Bucks change course a little bit, but for now, I think they're probably going to prioritize winning over playing someone like Usman Jeng. Else, keeping an eye on the time because I know you've got to get out of here.
No, we're good. That's fine. We got about 15, 20 minutes. Yeah. By the way, can I just add that just because Cam Thomas scored like 25 points in one game no one should care about adding Cam Thomas in any way, shape, or form because
No.
he's. It was a couple games he got a bunch of run because everyone was hurt and he just still sucks and you shouldn't roster Cam Thomas. All right, that's all I had to say. Public service announcement.
12-team 8-cat league. Hartenstein, Marshall are probably my worst. Would I drop one of them for Kalkbrenner or for streaming? I'm going to say I wouldn't drop them for Kalkbrenner.
No.
In terms of for streaming, probably not. I think I'd have both of those guys as must roster players.
Me too. Same. I mean, Kalkbrenner has a couple games coming. I mean, how many more games on the suspension for our guy Musa? 3. He got 4 games.
He got 4. Yeah, he got 4 games, didn't he? So he's probably got 3 more.
3 more. So you got a week of Kalkbrenner if you want to stream there. But I wouldn't cut Hartenstein or Marshall for him. No way.
No. Okay. We talked about Jalen Smith. The health has been a bit of an issue, and the Bulls obviously, well, who knows what the Bulls are doing. But, I think Jalen Smith will come back and start. The fact he's been injured is a little bit concerning, but I'd still have him as someone you need to be rostering for now.
Great. He got dropped in leagues, though. I will point out, check your waiver wire because he went down from 30% to 20%. People cut him when he got hurt, so go check your wire and see if he's still out there.
Question from Chad, who is naked in the bathroom. Question for you, Dan. What do you make of Scoot now that we've seen a bit? Put rest of season there. So what do we think about Scoot Henderson rest of season? Is he someone that you're picking up?
Actually, yes. Believe it or not. I mean, I was kind of out on Scoot until he came back, and he's been pretty good. I just want to make sure I have his stats in front of me so I'm not making stuff up. Yeah, only 20 minutes a night, giving you 14 points, 5.5 assists, almost 2 threes, shooting 51% from the field. That's the key, is the field goal percentage. Like he was down around 40% last year. Really struggled to shoot the ball. I'm not that he's going to be this good the rest of the way, but that's a great sign, man. 14 and 5 in 20 minutes. There's no reason he can't push to get maybe closer to 24, 25 minutes, I think, down the stretch. And, we know assists are not easy to find on the wire. So I'm all about, if you can get 14 and 5 off the wire, go get it. Maybe he's healthy and turning a corner. He's still a young guy. People write off guys so fast in this league. Scoot was a number 2 pick, man. Overall pick. Come on.
Another sort of and these are the questions we're going to get because people do want to look to add some flexibility at this time of year. I have Filipowski, Ty Jerome, Dayron Sharp, Stephon Castle, Dylan Cardwell. Can I use any of these players to drop as a streaming spot, or do I just keep them? Top ads on the waiver wire are Traore, Fears, and Vukcevic.
Jeez.
Okay.
Let's see. The only one of those 3 on the wire. First of all, I don't care about Jeremiah Fears at all. I just don't. He's doesn't do anything for me. Traore is okay. Vucevic would be the guy that I would add of those 3, and I might swap him for Cardwell, only because I don't know with Sabonis. I don't know how you feel about the Sabonis situation and the fact that Cardwell's not even starting when Sabonis is out. They're back now to starting Renault, and Cardwell's still coming off the bench, which is fine, but I don't know. I mean, Cardwell's the better fantasy player, but I feel like his minutes are also going to be lower than Renault, even when Sabonis is out.
Yeah, I've got Cardwell in quite a few leagues, and I've sort of just stuck with him because he's getting rebounds, he's getting blocks, and that's what I need him for. So in certain builds, he's been really good, and as long as he's playing 25 minutes, that's fine. I wouldn't be dropping Castle or Filipowski. Jerome is interesting. I mean, I know he's been really good, but he's still not playing back-to-backs. He has been playing 20 minutes a night.
20 minutes, right.
probably goes up a little bit. But
yeah, but how much? Like I had this come and ask this question today. With they have Cam Spencer and Scottie Pippen and he are all dressed at any given night. Are any of them going to play more than like 24, 25 minutes? Or are they all just going to split those minutes up?
And Ja Morant is sort of the big, I get question here. Is he coming back, and what does his role look like?
Right.
Because that then gives them 4 point guards. So I'm not saying I would drop Jerome right now, but I could certainly see a situation where he ends up being a drop or more of a stream level player. Because yes, he's been really good in 20 minutes, but the numbers he's putting up are not sustainable. I think that's fairly clear.
And it's all offense. There's no defensive stats. It's all points, threes, assists, basically. I mean, I guess the biggest thing would be Sharp would be the drop if we thought that he was just going to be a backup the rest of the season. But I'm telling you, even if they rest Claxton once every 4 games or something, that one game that he goes off, if you spread that over those other 3 games, makes him pretty much like a top 100 player. You know? Yeah. That's the hard part.
I have Dieng, Hendricks, Cardwell, and Trey Johnson need to drop one when Hero is back. Okay, well, given this list of names, I would hold Cardwell. This list isn't as strong as that previous list. So with these guys here, I would be holding Cardwell and I would be holding Trey Johnson.
Right. So I would say, go ahead. I'll let you finish.
I was going to say it's pretty clearly Hendricks or Dieng for me, and I'd probably go Dieng at the moment.
Because Hendricks has more opportunity for playing time. I mean, Santi Aldama's still out. We know Edie's out. Other than G.G. Jackson, they don't have a whole lot blocking him there. Kyle Anderson, like guys like that.
All right, who do I drop with the playoffs starting next week? Porzingis, Garland, Giddey, Jalen Smith. Can't go in with all 4 out. Do I drop them all? It's a 16-team league, but I kind of want to make the next round. We all want to make the next round. So who would we drop? I wouldn't drop Giddey. I wouldn't drop Garland. I think I'd hold both of those guys at the moment.
And, I mean, what's the word on Kristaps? He's supposed to come back after the break, maybe? Or I
think so. Yeah, I think he is. I mean, if I look at all 4 of those players, Porzingis is probably the one that I could see being managed in one way or another for the rest of the season. So minutes, no back-to-backs. Like I think if Giddey comes back and he's healthy, he eventually will get back to 30 minutes and playing in back-to-backs. Garland probably gets back there as well. And Jalen Smith definitely, I think if he's healthy, he will get back to that spot as well. Where Porzingis, I just don't see him playing 30 minutes a night this season. Probably won't play back-to-backs.
No.
So it might be Porzingis if I had to pick one. But again, wait till we get the injury reports, because we could get the injury reports ahead of these first games out of the gate here. And Garland might be available. Giddey might be available. Jalen Smith might be available. Right. So they might all be playing in 4 days' time. So I'd probably hold off before I drop any of them.
Yeah, and if you have time if playoffs starts right until next Monday, you want to wait and see what happens over the weekend and wait to the last possible minute.
Are we trusting Ware? I don't.
I don't know if Sco is a fan.
I trust Ware. I think Ware is a good player, but I don't think he is their starter now. I think it's just been a situation where the Heat have had guys out over that final week, which allowed Ware to start. But we've seen this all season. When they're injured, he will start. But when they're relatively healthy, he comes off the bench and plays 15 minutes and isn't someone you have to roster. So, no, I don't trust this at the moment.
Nope. Agree.
All right, let's bang through some quick ones here. Preference, Jalen Smith or Trey Johnson?
Probably Jalen Smith. You mentioned the Wizards' weird minutes and stuff. I think even with Trey Johnson, who's like part of their future, is he going to play 30 minutes or is he going to play 25 minutes and then they bring in all these other guys and play? Like the Wizards are doing like a Nets thing where they're just going to play 10 or 12 guys all like 20 to 25 minutes, which is just death for fantasy.
Yep, I'd go Smith there as well, assuming again that he does get healthy. Try and see if there's some different players in here. Keegan Murray. Haven't had any Keegan questions. 14-team head-to-head playoffs starting week 19. Is Keegan a hold?
I guess. Yeah. They're the last minute. I'm optimism is low because the Kings are kinging around, and what motivation do they have to bring him back, and in what capacity? I don't hold as long as you can, but I'm not optimistic.
Yeah. Do we think any news will come out today? No, not today. I don't think we get anything today. I think we get a little bit tomorrow, but it'll be Thursday. Wednesday. Thursday here, but Wednesday I think is when we'll get the injury reports. I think there's how many games are on Thursday? There's quite a few. Yeah,
there's a bunch. I want to say 10 or 11, something like that.
Thursday, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. Yeah, so we've got 10 games on Thursday, and then 9 on Friday. So so 19 games over 2 days. So we'll get some news ahead of that. Okay, here's an interesting trade one. I got offered Trey Murphy for Desmond Bain. I want to accept, but should I worry about Trey's shoulder?
I don't know. What's the severity of the shoulder injury?
It's just shoulder soreness, I'm fairly certain, but it's so shoulder soreness. I don't think it's anything serious. I'd be more worried about the Pelicans in general than the shoulder. Like I think the shoulder is probably okay, but given that the Pelicans don't really, they're not playing well, they're not winning a lot of games, is there some concern here that they're going to take it easy? I mean, Trey Murphy is pretty clearly the preferred player here. But is Bain enough to get back in a trade? Would you, if you had Murphy, would you take Bain? I'd probably try to get a little bit more.
I'd try to get more. I'd try to maybe add a second player where you upgrade or just ask for. I mean, you're getting the same stats except less of them, and I don't know. Just I don't know. I mean, we were counting on the Pelicans packing it in because we know they don't have their own pick. It's like,
no,
why not just let them play, let their guys play?
Yeah, they certainly could. So yeah, I'd try to get more. Let's leave it there. Would you drop Clowney for Vukcevic?
I would.
Yeah, I think I would. Yep. We've done that one. Would we stash Edey? Sure. We both agreed that he's probably not coming back this season. If you've got an open spot, you could definitely put him in there, but I wouldn't be locked into him. If one of your other guys got injured and you needed to move him into the IR spot, I'd be okay just moving on from Edey. But if you've got some capacity to hold him now, then sure. And especially, I mean, we may get some clarity on this in the next couple of days. That Memphis might come out and give us sort of a timeline and say he's progressing, but he'll be reevaluated in 2 weeks. Because I think they came out a while ago and said he'll be reevaluated in 6 weeks. So we might get another piece of news like that. So sure, stash him, but don't be too locked into holding him. So let's go back to this question. So this was the on my roster and able to be cut. All right, let's find that question again.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Okay, so all right, so here's the question. So Vukcevic, Grayson Allen, Jalen Smith on IL, Justin Champagny, Nick Clifford, Kyle Filipowski, Melton on the bubble. Okay, so who would we drop there? Who of those bubble players would we potentially drop if and when well, Vukcevic will play, but when Grayson Allen returns, Jalen Smith returns.
Champagne's my first one.
Champagne. Yeah, Champagne would be the one I'd go with to activate one of those players.
After that, I know they're always really tight, but I would just say maybe Melton.
Yeah, maybe. He's been pretty good, but I'm not sure he's going to play much more this season. Like, he'll play more games, but I don't think his minutes are going up, pushing up to 30 or anything like that.
No, he's locked into like 24, 23.
Yeah. So his opportunities are a little bit limited. So I think it'll be Champagne quite clearly, and then possibly Melton. I'd be trying to hold Filipowski and Nick Clifford. All right. Last one. Pirtle. What are we doing with Jakob Pirtle? He returned in the last game, didn't play much. He's going to be pretty limited, I think. This back injury has been lingering all season. So would you hold him? Do you see him as a priority in a 12-team league, or would you be okay moving him for someone like a Dylan Cardwell or a Nick Clifford?
I think he's a headache. I mean, he played like 18 minutes and like 9 and 5, no blocks, no steals. I just think he's going to be managed, and if even if he stays healthy, he's going to be a shell of what you thought you were getting. Just get young, productive guys. I mean, Nick Clifford could be playing 35, 40 minutes a game. Cardwell, we know, can get blocks, and if you need big man stats, Cardwell can easily replace what Pirtle's giving you in his 25-minute role. Yeah. I think, move on.
Yep, I'm okay to move on as well. And I'm going to let you move on. You've got things to do. I've got to get my son to school at some point, assuming he's awake. What's going on with you and with Roto Baller? We're starting to ramp back up now, obviously, with the final stretch in view.
Yeah, we have an article out today that came out. I didn't write it, but Andrew Ball, one of our other writers, did about which teams to trust. Kind of took an idea from one of your tweets, Kingy, where you had like a trust list of like teams and who are tanking, and he wrote that up for us, did a nice job. And then I'm going to probably have a cut list coming out Thursday or Friday where I'm going to try to make some of these tough calls you and I are making right now about what injured players you should hold going into the playoffs or cut. And then, of course, all the way to the end of the season, I'll be doing waiver wire content for the silly season and the playoffs. And, I have Thunder Dan DFS. Even though baseball's starting up, I'll be covering basketball to the end, no doubt.
All right. Thank you for coming on. And, do go and follow Thunder Dan, follow me, follow Old Man Squad, follow Noah, follow Dan, follow Jacob, everyone that's part of the Old Man Squad. We really thank you for helping us this season and growing the brand. It's been pretty amazing how big it's gotten. So it's a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. I'll be back. I've got a couple of RotoWire shows actually coming up. So my usual mailbag with Kieran on Thursday, but I'm also stepping in for Mike Barner tomorrow. So we'll be doing the regular Wednesday show on the RotoWire network as well. So check those out. And then we're back into the games and my usual game recap shows and everything will be kicking off this weekend. So thank you again. Reminder to go and subscribe and follow and like, do all of that stuff. He is Thunder Dan. I'm Adam King. This has been Stuff It Fantasy Basketball Podcast. We are done.
You don't know where I've been, what's